Hi, everybody, and welcome to Source Series. My special guest here, Brittany Chaplin. I'm Shannon Hugman, and the whole point of this series is what is source energy? Talking about source energy, talking about being source. And the whole point of this series is what source energy? Talking about source energy, talking about being. The whole point of this series is what. Okay, sorry everybody. I had that link open. So all right. So here we are. Sorry about that interruption. So I'm Shannon Hugman, and I'm holding this thing called Source Series. And what Source Series is it's just emails, love notes, heart riffs, insights, all little juicy tidbits sent from me to you for free to your inbox. And so part of this series, I've invited one of my besties, my soul sister, Brittany Chaplin, here to join us. Now, Brittany is an intuitive healer. She's a spiritual guide. She's an astrologer. She's amazing. Yay. Thank you so much for being here, Brittany.
Thank you, Shannon. This is so exciting. This is my first time doing something like this. So I'm super, super excited and so honored that you thought of me. And I'm really excited. And I love your series. And so it's really exciting to get to be a part of it. So thank you.
Awesome. You are so welcome. Thank you for being here. If you want to join the series, if you're not already signed up, you can sign up in the link below in this video. There is a sign up. So feel free to sign up, or you can go to my website, shannonhugmanastrology.com, and there's an opt-in at the top. So make sure to jump on board because it's super fun, totally 100% free, and always will be. But anyways, let's get into the juiciness because I have Brittany here, and I'm so thankful I do because right now the moon is in Libra. I like to consider Brittany Queen Libra. She really radiates that Libra energy. And we're going to talk about that in a couple minutes, Libra, because I feel like we could all use some guidance right now as the moon's in Libra. And I can't think of someone better to ask. But what I want to talk about first is this concept of source energy. So for me, source energy is how I define the force of life, or spirit, or the universe, or love, or God, if you want to call it that, or Krishna, or Buddha, or whatever English language you want to use. I'm choosing to use the word source energy. And everything is made of this source energy. So it's really cool to start living from that space of awareness, living as source energy in action. And the best way to really get to know this journey is to cultivate it on your own. But I found that stories and people's experiences are the best way I've learned. So what I want to ask Brittany is just a couple questions about what does source energy mean to you, Brittany?
Yes, well, thank you. That really, I mean, what you said sums it up for me as well. When I think about source energy, it's a lot of the same things that you mentioned. And me, of course, being a Libra, for me, it's the balance of all of it, the masculine, the feminine, and the harmony of it all, and just this kind of ultimate balance that we seem to be seeking as humans in this experience. And it's when I rest into it, it's just like, I don't know what feeling being on a cloud is, but that's what I imagine it is. It's just the comfiest, most enveloping feeling that I've ever experienced. And it's infinite love and abundance. And it's hard for me to put into words exactly what it is. I think you articulated it very well, but infinite love and abundance and just the balance of it all is really, I guess, how I explain it to people. So.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. And I love bringing that word balance because I think you've seen my chart, Brittany, but I have 0 Libra planets. I mean, we're all the signs. So I am some Libra at some extent. But that word balance has always been something that's kind of haunted me. I've always thought of balance as like a bad thing because then that means like I can't have as much as I want to have. Mm-hmm. I think I've probably lived a couple lifetimes in scarcity or lack, and I'm sure other people can resonate with that. So I'm kind of like, I'll take it all, and then I'll take some more, and I'll obsess over everything, and I'll put all my energy into something. So I'm kind of like an all-in person. It wasn't until really this fall when Jupiter moved into Libra, and I thought, all right, I got to start. Well, first of all, my life was screaming at me to get balanced, but I was still in denial. And then I thought, you know what? And it wasn't until one day I was just sort of, I forget what even triggered it, but I was thinking about just the concept of moderation. And I said to my boyfriend, I'm like, you know what? Moderation's not so bad. Like balance and moderation, they're not that bad. And he's like, what? Like moderation of what? What are you talking about? I'm like, moderation of everything. So anyways, I'm so happy to hear you bring that balance into the equation, because, and I really feel like this is a great segue into my next question for you, because a huge part of this series is, first of all, yes, realizing, really getting that into your awareness that we're all source energy. But an equally as important part of that is like, well, now what? What do we do with that?
Yeah, right?
Exactly. And that's where I've come up with this word sourced. So being sourced or getting sourced is like a verb. This is an action. This is something we have to do. And this whole series was really just inspired because I'm looking around at the world. November has brought such winds of change. And I'm thinking, it's not enough just to talk about how we're all one anymore. It's not enough to have these intellectual ideas. Now it's about being source energy in action. And I think that is a perfect thing. Is like, this is about balance, being source energy, but then balancing it through your actions and restoring balance through your actions. But anyways, I really, really want in this series people to start thinking about how they can be source energy in action. Where you can have that awareness that you are source energy, but then do something with it. Use it. For me, that looks like talking about it. That looks like, getting on stuff like this, sharing, writing, talking. That's what it looks like for me, but it can look so different for everybody. So Brittany, what does it look like for you?
Yes. So, I love that you say that it looks different for everybody, because I think it's really easy, especially with everything that's going on right now and with the changes that we have experienced, to kind of get caught up in the idea that, maybe I need to be doing something because everybody else is doing it. And there's all these, calls to action, if you will, to be doing, to be that source energy. And I think it's really important to get to know who you are first, and who you are at your deepest level, and what it is that you really resonate with, because I think it can be really easy to get swept up into all of that energy, especially with everything that's going on right now. And so for me, and you'll know this because I have had a session with you, and my North Node is Aries. And so for me, it's really about, it's really truly about figuring out what it is that resonates with me and what makes my heart sing. Because once I am able to align with that, and I am more able to figure out those things for myself, that's when I'm going to be able to put out, the most applicable energy from source to the people that are gravitating towards me. And so it's looks like a lot of different things for me right now. I think a lot of people are feeling this. It's the change of the seasons. I'm going into a hibernation mode. I feel very drawn inward. I feel very drawn to cut back on a lot of things. I've cut a lot of things out of my life to really be able to figure out what it is that resonates with me, and that I can actually put out in integrity into back out into the world. And so for me, being sourced right now is diving deeper into myself, and in more of an authentic way and more of a present way, because I was doing that before, but also on the last Taurus, the super moon, that was, I believe the super moon was at 22 degrees and my natal moon is at 23. And so that was I haven't felt more grounded in my entire life than I did during that time. And now I'm feeling that as well. And so I am more grounded in my practices and in my journaling and my card pulling. And so grounding into that, and honestly grounding into the cosmos for me, is how I am going to be able to manifest what it is that I'm supposed to put out there. And so that's been kind of the main thing that I have been doing. And it's been insane what has happened since I have actively chosen to do that. You have approached me. I've been approached by another amazing friend of ours to do something like this. I have people text messaging me like out of the blue, just wanting to connect and get card readings. And it's honestly, it was about slowing down enough to let the universe catch up with me. And that is how I can be the best version of source energy for myself right now, and for the people who are drawn into my energy. And it's been amazing. And I'm really excited to see what ends up coming out of all of it, because it feels more centered and more aligned than I have felt in a very long time.
That's such a great answer. And again, that just really right there, you've brought so much balance to my perspective, because where I've been focusing on in my life and how I've been sourcing, which again means connecting to that higher power, connecting to that higher place, or that force of life, or whatever. It's English. We get to use whatever words we want. But for me, it's looked like a lot of putting things out there and being, a voice or sharing. And I just love your reminder that no, it's also what you do inside. It's also, and it's really interesting. I just love your share, because really what had occurred to me, October, the full moon in October, which would have been Libra and Aries. Mm-hmm. It really just wiped me out. I had to, maybe some of you remember, I sort of took my hibernation, my store shut down. I was just very much doing what you're in, this internal realm. And then from there, now it's grown into a sort of a new direction, talking about things like energy, not just astrology, but energy. So yeah, that's so great, because absolutely being sourcing or being a conduit of source does not have to look like doing something external. It can totally occur in that relationship to yourself and in your daily practices. And that is equally, if not more, I think it's probably more powerful, because look at you, now you're just magnetizing, and and we all have the capacity to be a magnet like that. So.
Definitely. Yeah.
Really good. And so again, perfect conversation to be having under this Libra energy. And if you're watching it today, the moon's in Libra, or tomorrow the moon's in Libra, but this whole year Jupiter is in Libra. So school's really in as far as Libra lessons go. And I always say, the number, Libra is about restoring balance, but what are we restoring? It's sort of the energy of giving and receiving. And how do we learn that? Often in relationships. So Libra is such a relationship-oriented sign. But Brittany, I told you she's Queen Libra, because here she goes, relationship to self. And that's sort of exactly what I say whenever we're talking about Libra energy. I say, the longest relationship you'll ever be in is the one with yourself. And so all other relationships are mirrors of that, or jumping off of that. And so that being said, can we talk a little bit about the Libra vibration and how you experience, because I know your sun sign's Libra, but you also have a lot of other planets in Libra.
A lot, yeah.
Yeah, and the fact that Jupiter's in Libra means it's going to do us all some good to embrace these Libra lessons, because Jupiter is the planet of good fortune, abundance, gracefulness, grace, coming in, larger than life, miracles, all that juiciness. And right now, how to unlock that energy is through diving into the Libra energy. So what can we have some Libra wisdom?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think, and really, I think you have helped me more than a lot of readings that I have done on Libra energy. I feel like you have helped me understand it really well. And for myself, it's very easy for me to and to kind of just lead off of what we were talking about earlier with, being that source energy and tuning into ourselves. For me, it's really easy to constantly be thinking about other people and how I can, how I can help other people and how I can, put things out there, like we've been talking about. And what I realized, and what the Taurus moon helped me realize a lot, and also I think one of my lessons with this Jupiter in Libra, is that it's that saying that everybody says, you can't pour from an empty cup. I mean, it's impossible. And what I realized I was doing, and there was a really good video that somebody posted in one of the Facebook groups that I'm in about spiritual consumerism, and how I went, from, typical material consumerism straight into spiritual consumerism. And I wanted to figure out, and because I'm also a Gemini rising, it's very exciting for me to absorb all of the information and then figure out how I can put that back out for other people. And instead of actually focusing on how I related to the information and how I processed it, I was never present in any of my experiences, whether I was going to yoga class or I was doing a meditation, or even if I was doing card pulls for myself, I would find myself in the middle of it, in the middle of the experience, thinking about how I can put this together for other people. And so it was like I never slowed down enough to even feel how it felt for myself and within me. And so for me, that Libra energy is a lot about that. And I think it's, for instance, today I was really excited about doing this with you, and about, getting my website up to date, because I had some new photos taken. And so I was really excited about putting all this information out there. And I, almost didn't, I got distracted with all of that excitement in the middle of my kind of my new morning ritual that I have started doing, with pulling my cards and doing some research on some of the different rays that we have. And I was able to pull myself back from that excitement and bring myself back into the present moment and into that experience. And in doing so, I was able to experience some of the most magical synchronicities ever. And it's like, every time I do that, every time I pull myself back to myself, instead of automatically thinking of how I can be of service, which I think is a very Libra tendency, is to figure out how I can be of service. And obviously there's nothing wrong with that. But I need a foundation for that service to come from. And I'm still getting to know that foundation. I'm still getting to know myself. And that's why I love astrology too, because you can really, really dive deep into who you are and into those foundations, so that you can come from that authentic place within yourself. And so it's that balance of kind of riding that line of that excitement and wanting to put things out there, but then also committing to yourself and committing to filling your cup back up, because that's how I fill my cup up, is by sourcing and by communing with spirit and letting those messages come through. And, like you said, it's that magnetism that just happens. I have been less active over the last 2 weeks, but I have attracted more people and more experiences to me than I have in the last year. So it's, I don't know if that really answered the question about Libra energy, but I think that's kind of the energy that I feel around my Libra. Anyways, I think we all, like you said, we experience it differently. And for me, that's really how I've been experiencing it, with all of the energy that's been going on lately.
Oh my gosh, yes, that's perfect. And I just have to say too, I'm having like a proud teacher moment, because although I'm not Brittany's only astrology teacher, Brittany is one of my most cherished Art of Astrology Online Academy students. And a huge takeaway, or a huge intention of the Online Astrology Academy, is for people to, I'm your guide into the energies, but it's really about you cultivating an awareness of those energies yourself. I'm here to say, hey, Libras looks like this, and this is what it looks like to me. But throughout the course, I always invite you to get to know what it means for you. And so, oh my goodness, Brittany, that is You articulated it so perfectly, and that was my total intention when I launched the course, was so that everybody can have their own language to explain these energies and their own way to articulate it. So like, you get the gold star valedictorian award. But if you're interested in the art of astrology, if you're watching this, it is on sale for Black Friday. It's going to be on sale throughout the next week. It's only $33. At this point, it's do it at your own pace. So you get invited to the Facebook group. You can ask questions. You can email me your questions, but you'll get all the content. You can just go through it as you please. It's ebooks, videos, and you basically learn how to create your birth chart, interpret the energies, understand where the energies are now. And so if you're hearing our conversation and, we're talking about how Brittany has a Taurus moon or a Gemini rising, and you're wondering, what do I have? Then the Art of Astrology Online Academy will totally help you figure that out. And again, it's only $33, and that's at shannonhugmanastrology.com. But anyways, yeah, exactly, Brittany. That's so true. That foundation to launch off of. And whenever I feel into Libra energy, the immediate thing that comes to me, and this has been happening for years, is when you're on an airplane and the cabin pressure drops and they say secure your mask and then secure someone else's. And that's New Age Libra or modern Libra, or the Libra energy within us all that's going to really reap the benefits of Jupiter in this area until October 2015, is let's all put on our masks and take a nice deep breath. And like Brittany perfectly said, fill our cup. And I think, there's a lot to be said for looking at what happens when we put other people's masks on before our own. First of all, in that scenario, can you imagine if you're somebody, so let's say it's Brittany and I put Brittany's mask on first, and then first of all, I suffocate, right? So I don't want to suffocate. But next, Brittany is now watching me suffocate at her expense, which is going to cultivate a lot of guilt within Brittany's psyche. Not to mention, now that I'm suffocating, I'm probably going to start to resent Brittany, even though she never asked me to do this for her. So it's really, there's layers and layers and layers and layers to this energy, but I think that's perfect, is exactly what Brittany said, is having that foundation within yourself, and showing up for that. And something I've offered in this series is one of my foundational tools, which I call the pillar of light. And so it's exactly what it sounds. It's basically just a pillar of light. And you just imagine that you're in the center of it. And this pillar travels infinitely down to the core of the earth and infinitely up to the cosmos. And it's white light. It has an intelligence of its own. It knows where to go. It knows what to do. It knows how to purify. It knows how to cleanse. And your only job is to intend to be absorbed by, or intend to absorb that energy. And so it's as simple as just imagining you're in the middle of a column of white light, breathing it in, maybe affirming a mantra in your mind if that's something that works for you. But you can call this light in anytime, anywhere. I'm doing it right now. You can do it all the time. So that's something that I've always done in my life and in my practice to put my mask on to help myself breathe, is to really, and maybe it seems a little out there for you. So maybe yours looks like a journaling practice, or maybe yours looks like a yoga practice, or a jog, or a run, or snuggling with someone you love. Or, it could be anything. But I think that is such wisdom, such medicine. Thank you so much, Brittany, for your clear, beautiful communication and information. And really, if you're out there watching this, and Brittany being part of this, we're engaging in such a powerful conversation, because where two or more are gathered, our energies are now amplified. And so really right now we're source energy in action, having this conversation, talking about these things, cultivating these awarenesses. And although the world may seem like, what is going on? I've been really feeling into it. It's kind of like we're in renovations. When you're renovating an area of your home, what does that look like? It looks chaotic. There's not whatever tools there, and I keep wanting to say there's knives, but that's not the right word. Nails. That's what I'm trying to say. There's nails. There's stuff all over. You're like, is this ever going to end? What is going on? Everything is crazy. And so please remember that we're just renovating. And ultimately, this reality renovation that's occurring is a really good thing. I feel as though we're probably not going to see, the shiny, new, renovated home we've created here on Earth until maybe 2018 is when Saturn will move into Capricorn. Anyways, please, 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 please know that that inner stuff, like Brittany's saying, she's, you know, her example is her medicine. As she's turning within, then people are magnetizing, people are reaching out, it's happening, it's rolling, instead of going out there and grasping while you're suffocating and like, ah. So awesome. Oh, this is so fun. This just makes me so happy, lights me up. I'm so thankful to you, Brittany, and I'm so thankful to everybody watching and everybody who signed up for Source Series. And if you haven't, again, the link is in this YouTube video. So you can, because it's free. And why wouldn't you want something free? The other thing I do want to say is that Brittany, you can totally reach out to Brittany. Brittany is available. Her website is BrittanyKChaplin.com, which again will be in the comments or the bio section here of this video. And she's on Instagram. It's an awesome account to follow. Honestly, every time I see Brittany, your new story pop up, I'm like, oh, yeah, it's either like a really cute cat or adorable dog, beautiful farmland, sunsets, amazing oracle cards, which I'm going to get into in a second. Yeah, Brittany is totally worth that follow. She is amazing on Instagram. And she's available to connect with, to help you grow, to help you ground into your truth. So if you're feeling that resonance, like definitely honor that sacred yes. So one of my favorite things Brittany's been sharing is her Kyle Gray's new deck, the Keepers of Light Oracle. And since we're talking source energy, I also use the word light. You know, you got the pillar of light. We got a lot of light. Yeah, there it is. So I've invited Brittany. I've asked her, you know, very humbly, I'm very grateful she's agreed, to pull a card for the group of us, to pull a Keeper of Light Oracle to see, you know, who can we call on? Who can we work with? So thanks, Brittany. Over to you.
Of course, yes. Thank you for asking. I think that's this deck it's nuts. It's so beautifully magical, and I've been experiencing just the most insane synchronicities like every single day that I've been pulling from it. I laugh out loud because it's just like you can't make it up. It's amazing how synchronistic it is.
And then you share it, and then I'm like, ah! So I don't even have to do that.
You can check out with me too. Yeah, it's the best. So yes, okay. I will pull a card for the group, and yeah, just intend for the highest message of all to come through for everybody. So if you're watching, if you want to just take a deep breath into your heart. Okay, so Joan of Arc.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've been working with her energy so much lately.
Can you see it okay on there? I got a little bit of a glare.
Mm-hmm. Well, also, Brittany, maybe you can take a picture and send it to me, and I can include it in tomorrow's email too.
Definitely, yes. I would love to do that. Yeah. So, okay, so the card says, stand strong, focus on your purpose, release the fear of persecution, and speak your truth. It's just, it's so beautiful for everything that's going on right now. I mean, I don't know. I think it's easy for people to be nervous, and you know, for me, if I'm bringing this back to kind of what I've been incorporating recently, I've been kind of nervous about expressing that need to come in and process everything that's going on, because there's a lot of pressure out there to be doing certain things and doing it a certain way with everything that's going on, and I haven't felt aligned with all of it, and so I've felt guilty. I've been holding myself in this kind of place of guilt, and I think that this card brings a really strong message for everything that we've been talking about. It doesn't matter what your truth, you know, what the overall truth may look like or what you may think it is. It's about finding out what your truth is and then speaking that, because that gives a voice to other people's thoughts and feelings as well, and it allows kind of that next step to be taken where people can maybe speak out about something that they didn't feel comfortable speaking out about. And us being that voice of truth and standing strong, because there is a very, it's funny that Jupiter is in Libra during all of this, because there's just such extreme polarities out there right now. And so finding the balance in all of that is not easy. It's not easy right now. And so I think it is good to, however you need to and however you can, to voice your truth. And that doesn't necessarily have to look, like what we're doing, like getting online and voicing it, or even posting on Instagram or Facebook about whatever your truth is. Be with yourself in your truth and experience that for yourself, and then just watch how what you need comes to you from that. I think that's why she came up, is to give us that permission to voice our truth, even if it's just to ourselves, and to be confident in that, and sturdy in that foundation of moving forward from your place of integrity, no matter how that looks compared to what everybody else is out there doing.
Perfect. It's actually blowing my mind that you pulled Joan of Arc, because I've been working with her, just calling her in, inviting her in, and I think there's a lot to be said for that strong feminine force now, being that warrior, whether you're female or male or not. But that the divine feminine, it's time for her to defend herself. It's time, or maybe not even defend as much as just sort of like
be.
Surrender. That's a perfect one. Be heard, come up, because the patriarchy's coming on strong. And I just had chills all over, and I love that explanation that you gave. Perfect. Wow. Well, thank you, Joan of Arc, for being here with us. And I think that or I feel more than I necessarily think, that being source energy in action, that's Joan of Arc. That takes courage. It takes courage to show up. It takes courage to be out there or be in there. Sometimes it takes more courage to be inside, in my experience anyways. So awesome. So like I said, Brittany Chaplin, BrittanyKChaplin.com, Brittany K. Chaplin on Instagram, and on Facebook too. So do you have anything you want to share, Brittany, before we close out?
Out of the internal exploration that I have been doing, I have decided to offer a workshop series that you and I have actually talked a little bit about in the past, and it's finally kind of coming around full circle and coming to fruition. It's kind of a chaos to clarity, is what I'm hoping that it will end up being for people. Whether we like it or not, we are getting ready to gear up for our 4th and final Mercury retrograde of this year. The shadow begins on December 1st, and so I am going to be doing just a small little series of workshops where we can kind of harness that Mercury retrograde energy and help it bring about a clear and stable and strong foundation for 2017, because it does carry us over from 2016 to 2017, and we will be leaving a 9 energy year and entering into a 1 energetic year, which is all about new beginnings and fresh starts and fresh new energy, which I think a lot of us are very excited about. 2016 has been a doozy. It's been intense. So it will be utilizing that energy of that Mercury retrograde and helping to move us basically from that chaos into clarity. And I'm hoping to help anybody who currently uses Mercury retrograde as a curse word to help them harness that energy instead of dread it, because it actually is a beautiful time to really do some amazing transformations within ourselves and capitalizing on that energy. So I do have a sign up on my website. You can go there under the guidance section, and you can sign up to receive the notifications for when that will be ready to go.
Sweet. And I will definitely also include that in tomorrow's email, a link to
Perfect.
that. So that'll be perfect. So it'll be nice and easy for you to find. Maybe I'll throw it in the section here as well. And yeah, oh my goodness. First of all, I'm so stoked that you're doing that. That is awesome. And I'm so happy because, again, that was something very synchronistic and it written in the stars, we could say. But yeah, the thing I want to add too that you so perfectly said about Mercury retrograde is I always say that Mercury retrograde is all things so it's like review, reassess, rethink, relook, recline, relax. However, you know, this being at the end of the year, which Brittany said again, at the end of a 9 years, so at the end of a big, long 9-year cycle, not to mention a powerhouse of a year, for better or for worse, I feel as though there's a lot to review. There's a lot to reassess. There's a lot to look over. So I'm actually now looking forward to Mercury retrograde, and Mercury will be in Sagittarius for most of it, I believe, or I think Capricorn or Sag.
I believe it's Capricorn, yeah.
Yeah, sweet. So yeah, super exciting. Anyways, yeah, well, thank you, Brittany. I'm just so loving it. Oh, and this was the other thing I wanted to say. Final little note. Just want to call in Joan of Arc one more time. When we, you know, as we move into a 1 year, as we move away from all that's happened in the last 9 years, which has been a lot, I think it's really, really important to be courageous and be brave because we're going out there, new beginnings, new starts. Anything is possible. We can create anything and everything. Yeah, maybe we have some people coming up against us, but we can overcome it. And really anything that's happening externally is happening within ourselves. And so just having that solid foundation to yourself. And if you don't know what that is and you don't know how to get there, you can ask yourself. Ask yourself, what do I need to feel secure? What do I need to know myself? You know, you can always ask yourself, but also feel free to ask me. If you're part of the Source series, respond to my emails. Let me know your struggles. Let me know your strengths. And definitely feel free to share this or share the emails that you're getting. Use the hashtag Sourced series or Stop, Drop, and Source. A lot of us have been doing, which has been fun. So thank you, thank you, thank you. It is, you know, just my ultimate pleasure to be here, to hold this space, to have this conversation, for you to be watching, for Brittany to be here. Just infinite love and gratitude. So much. Oh, and I also just wanted to say hi to everybody on Facebook. I'm loving all your comments and keeping my eye on it. Brittany, everybody is so thankful for your messages and so thankful to connect with you and cheering you on. And so thanks everybody on Facebook. Thanks everybody on YouTube. Thanks anybody watching this replay later. Any closing words, Brittany, you want to share?
Just thank you, Shannon. You are such a light, and I am really grateful that you have been out as much as you have and putting as much out there as you have been, because it's been keeping me afloat during some really challenging times. So I just want to thank you for everything that you do and for everything you're putting out there, because it's been a lifeline. And you bring so much light and just happiness, and I am so grateful to you, and I'm so grateful for our friendship and for everything that we're experiencing together. So thank you so much for doing this and for asking me to be here. I'm so honored and so excited to be here. So thank you.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes. Just again, infinite love and gratitude. We're mirrors. We're all mirroring it back and forth. So you are also welcome, and I'm so grateful. And like I said, it's just like when two mirrors look at each other, it just goes forever and ever and ever. is how I feel. So thank you all for watching. Thank you on Facebook. I'm just going to end Facebook by Facebook. And again, if you haven't already signed up for the Source series, the link is below. And it'll just be a pleasure to have you. It's all free. And yeah, thanks for watching.